It is a new era of Iowa Phoenix football, the first game under new head coach Demario Dara, and we are excited to bring you the 2025 kickoff here from Bill Buxton Stadium of your Iowa Phoenix. The Phoenix coming off a little bit of a disappointing season, finishing just 2-4, but there's a lot of excitement coming in this year, some new faces, and a new schedule that I believe is going to be set up for a lot more opportunities this season.
Yeah, there's a lot of returning players, so you got more experience going on. You got a few new ones. It's a nice mix, and we'll see what the coaching change does. You know, if that's going to make a little difference in the offense, defense. You know, they had their rough outings, and sometimes it's the teams they play. There are different levels out here in the WFA, and when you have to go play like Minneapolis and you play
The
Vixen or the top one, they're a actual pro team versus a level 3 team that the Phoenix are. Now, when we play the Minx, they're actually one level below the Phoenix unless they've moved up. They were a development team.
Yeah, I think it's Division 4 now is the official term.
That's
but yeah,
a better way.
The two teams, they play the Midwest Mountain Lions today. Two teams split the two matchups last year as Iowa lost at home against the Mountain Lions in the first game of the season, but it was a very dysfunctional offense early in the season. Really started to pick it up midway through the year and went on the road to Racine, Wisconsin, took down the Mountain Lions 20-68, the only loss in the regular season last year for the Mountain Lions. And the Phoenix looking to try and pick up right where they left off last year on a nice stretch. They won 2 out of their last 3 two of their last 3 going into last week before playing the Oklahoma Rage, a very tough team to play at the end of the year.
They were a nightmare. Well, they took championship, didn't they?
The Pride did.
Oh, the Pride did. That's right.
But yeah, Iowa had the Nebraska Pride last year, the Minnesota Vixen, the Oklahoma Rage. That's 3 of their 4 losses from last year's regular season. And then the other ones. Yeah, and the other loss was a one-score game against this Mountain Lions squad that, again, Iowa was a very different team by the second time they played.
Yeah. And one thing we saw last year that Grace Francis came on as a new quarterback, and it was her first year playing football. And she got a fantastic arm, but getting that accuracy and timing down took a little bit. And so now she's got a year under her belt. We're looking forward to some exciting play from her.
We are going to take a short break, and we'll be back as the team's set to go at it here in a little bit. You're watching Iowa Phoenix football on Pardon My French Media.
They forfeit.
The Iowa Phoenix back on the
was a
field, and the Midwest Mountain Lions set to come out as well. Mentioned before, the Mountain Lions 5-1 last season, but a very different roster we saw last year.
There they come.
Quarterback last year for them, Jamie Fernal, who led the team in passing and rushing last year. Not listed on this year's roster, accounted for 10 touchdowns for them last season. Believe that the starting quarterback is going to be Ava Matz, number 17 for the Mountain Lions, trying to lead a repeat season, get them back to the playoffs. Mountain Lions last year had splits against the Phoenix, wins against the Minks, the Cedar Raptors, as they swept the Cedar Raptors last year, 26-0 and 34-6 and 47-0, as well as a win against the Sioux Falls Snow Leopards.
That's some big wins there.
Yeah. And we talked about that they've got some new faces, a couple new players to the Phoenix roster this year. Talking with owner JT Trevelyan, the team's very excited about Kira Fisk celebrating her 18th birthday here today. The high school senior out of Carlisle. We saw her during basketball season for the Carlisle Wildcats. A very aggressive defender and very athletic. Going to be potentially a huge weapon at the wide receiver position. The team has kind of missed the last couple of years without the play of players like Essence Bell and Cheyenne Kurth. As you know what you get from Shannon Christensen, but it's always good to have that number 2 weapon out there.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see what this young girl can do. As you said, she's very athletic. We saw her play some really good basketball. And this is an example of what this league can mean for the younger kids. That the girls who play different sports through high school, whatever, that it gives them an opportunity to go out and play football. And there's a great example of it. Great athletic person through high school, and now she gets to put on the shoulder pads and hit people, hit girls.
Some of the other new additions to this year's team: number 11, Abby Hansen; number 89, Alicia Scott; number 86, Heather Rea; and number 58, Natasha Young. Some new names on this year's squad for the Phoenix. Mentioned Demario Dara is the new head coach, with a new defensive coordinator as well as Coach Reyes taking over the defensive play calling. And then Patrick Kaiser, the new O-line and D-line coach for the Phoenix this season.
Darrow's been around here.
Yep, the offensive coordinator was a Hall of Fame quarterback for the Iowa Blaze, or the Des Moines Blaze, for a long time as well. So hoping that he can rub off a little bit on Grace Francis, who has shown her athleticism, her arm. Did struggle turning the ball over last year, 12 interceptions in 6 games, but really started to turn the corner a little bit halfway through the year.
Yeah, I think she was just throwing too hard, that she was overthrowing the receivers. And there are a couple times that she got in trouble and didn't properly dump the ball. So those are the little things that are easy to correct, and that's what we're hoping we're going to see today.
The former infielder for the Graceland University softball team had a lot of success down in Lamoni. Came to the team last year as a first-year college graduate. And now they've got a couple of younger players on this year's team. Some of the changing of the guard of the last couple of seasons. Still some stalwarts out there. But, JT hanging it up 2 years ago. Joanna Webking finally deciding to hang up the cleats after this past season. I told JT I'd give it till week 3 until she's back.
Right. Well, we'll have to see. I keep looking on sideline for her to be there.
Yeah. And the opening kickoff will go to the Phoenix as the Mountain Lions set to kick this one off. It'll be Mary Ellen 6 as the kick.
Just looking at the sideline, too. Clarissa Smith has a boot on. So she's out.
So 6, wearing number 6, will handle the kickoff for the Phoenix. As we have a new season of Iowa Phoenix football.
Uh-oh.
As this one taken.
Start out jitters.
Yeah. Fisk takes the kickoff, and a beautiful one placed by 6. They did stop the clock with 14:53 left here in the first quarter. Not 100% sure why. As the Phoenix will start their opening possession here from their own 19-yard line. Offensive starters for the Phoenix, already mentioned her, Grace Francis at quarterback. Crystal Peterson led the team with over 600 yards and 5.5 carries. Last year will open as the team's running back. Had a couple huge games over the last couple of years, especially against the Cedar Raptors and Minnesota Minks the last 2 seasons. They're going to line up Abby Hansen as she comes off the field, actually.
They're going to get a penalty on him. If she came off field, yeah, illegal substitution.
So an early penalty against the Phoenix, not a great way to start this one out.
Yeah, when you see a player come off the field late, you've had too many people on the field. All right, let's shake it off. Just start out where you get the ball now.
So now 1st and 15, back at the 14-yard line. Short snap, Francis picking it up, delivers this across the middle, almost intercepted. That pass falls incomplete, and it is now going to be 2nd and 15. So first pass of the season does fall to the ground. Francis will line up in the shotgun with Peterson to her right. Hand off to Peterson. Good hole on the left side. She breaks it open.
That's a good blocking.
Up to the 30, 35. Pushed out just shy of the 40-yard line. So that'll be a first down for the Phoenix.
Really nice run. Had good good blocking out in front of her. That gave her a lot of yardage.
1st and 10 now from the Phoenix 37-yard line. They loved to run the ball last year. Seeing if they can be a little more two-dimensional this season with some more weapons in the passing game. Mikulek will line up on the far side. It's trips to the right of the formation. Francis in the shotgun once again with Peterson. Look over the side, deliver it. It's an out route here for Fisk, showing off the speed, able to get into Mountain Lion territory. That is going to go inside the Mountain Lion 40-yard line as that pitch and catch goes for almost 20 plus.
Take a look at her, I think.
First big shot she's taken. Happy birthday, Kira Fisk. First time she touches the ball, goes for 20 plus here at home.
Yep, welcome to the WFA.
So 1st and 10 now from the Mountain Lion 38-yard line, Keep this one on the ground again, goes to the right side this time. Short gain up inside the 35 to the 34. Gain of about 4 on first down. Second and 6 now, coming up from the Mountain Lion 34. After that first incomplete pass coming off the penalty, the Phoenix have had 3 straight successful plays. Schott and Mikulek lined up with Christensen on the left side of the formation this time. Play action pass, deliver this one short, finding Christensen. Gets past the line of scrimmage, but not much more as she is dragged down for a short gain of about 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, the fumble of that ball let the defense kind of close in.
Yeah, allowed that recovery to come in as they will bring Katie Turner into the game as well on this play. Fisk still on the sideline. Likely 4-down territory as the Phoenix have been notorious for going it on 4th and short. Need to get to the 28-yard line to convert. 3rd and 5 from the 33. Double back formation with both Turner and Peterson in there. They'll give it to Peterson, and she's going to be dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 4th and 5 now, as the Phoenix will keep the offense out there. Francis brings the play call in.
Yeah, anything outside of 20, 15, it's really tough. They don't have strong kickers in the league. So you usually end up making a 4-down territory of keep the offense.
Francis dropping back, looking to the right side, just out of the reach of Peterson, falls incomplete. Stops the clock with 10:52 left here in the first quarter, and it will be a turnover on downs with the ball going back to the Mountain Lions, and they'll have their first opportunity on the offensive side of the ball. So we'll see what the Phoenix defense does now. Their first year under Coach Reyes. Jadrian Reyes taking over. As Megan Bush going to line up on the right side of the formation. She's been a menace, racking up tackles in the backfield over the last couple of seasons. Mentioned before, a new quarterback. As this is going to be a false start against Antonisha Ward, the left tackle. That'll cost them 5 yards.
The other thing we see out there is a lot of these players play both sides of the ball.
Off the snap, rolling to the side, and that is going to be a big sack. Megan Bush brings down Matz inside the 20.
Did you mention her name? Yeah, she's a menace. She's tough. She plays hard.
Goes back to the 20-yard line. It is going to be 2nd and 23. So a big play on defense sets up the Mountain Lions back inside their own red zone. They'll line Matz up in the backfield. Jessica Powell to her right, another newcomer in the running back position. She'll take the handoff. Bush again in on the play. Another tackle for loss.
Wow. That was a bull rush right there. She overpowered the offensive lineman.
Another loss on the play. Moves them back 5 more yards. 3rd and 28 as they're trying to force a 3-and-out on the first offensive possession of the season.
And unless they get a really good punt off, that'll be good field position too.
Schott and Kushner are the two corners as they're going to play Christensen up a little bit from her right safety position. Off the shotgun, they're going to keep this one on the ground. And Bush makes 3 straight plays, this time on the handoff to Bridget Harris. Gain of 1 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th and 27 on the 3-and-out.
Someone's down on the ground, though.
That stops the clock with 9:06 left here in the quarter. An injury timeout. We'll take one as well and be right back. Megan Bush able to walk off the field under her own power. It is 4th and 27 here for the Mountain Lions as they look like they're going to punt from their own 16-yard line.
Yep, and it looks like Kara Fisk is back.
Had the big play off the catch. Dropped the snap originally. It is going to be a line drive. Fisk will take it off the bounce.
Yeah.
And she's going to get a good return here inside the 30.
Sorry about that. Got caught looking at the play.
So the Phoenix will take over. 1st and 10, already deep in enemy territory as they'll line it up at the Mountain Lion 29-yard line. Fisk and Peterson, some big plays on the first possession before the defense really honed in on the run. The incomplete pass over to Christensen ended it on 4th down. But Fisk back in the lineup, and she really creates a potential extremely athletic duo with Christensen at the top of this receiver core.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some good threat there.
We saw something similar a couple years ago with Ramira Lacey as the backup running back and Cheyenne Kurth as a WR2 before the two of them left for the Cedar Raptors. 1st and 10 from the 29. Hand out to the left side. Good burst of speed to the outside as Peterson will pick up a couple before going out of bounds. Gain of about 2 on the play, it appears. As they mark it officially as a gain of 1 up to the 28. That'll be 2nd and 9 now coming up from inside of Mountain Lion territory. Phoenix 2 and 4 last season. One of those wins coming on the road up in Racine against the Mountain Lions. The other one over the Cedar Raptors in a very strong game, 26-14. The offense struggled to move the ball at times last year, but they have a lot of talent in this year's squad as they're going to run a option play.
Nice option.
As this one goes to the outside, Peterson inside the 10, dragged down. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Phoenix. As it is now going to be 1st and goal from the 8-yard line for Iowa.
That was a good run. I don't know if it caught the defense or not, but the speed around the corner was the key there.
Crystal Peterson has represented Team USA the last 2 years, playing down in Mexico City and I believe Costa Rica last couple of years, and has been the bell cow for the Phoenix, the all-time leader in rushing touchdown, rushing yards, and rushing attempts, both the season and career. They're going to run another pitch, but this time it's going to be kept by Francis inside the 5, dives, ball knocked out of bounds, but it goes out before diving for the end zone.
Yeah, let's not play college real football and you fumble it out of the end zone and you lose the ball. And that's what they play. It's college rule football.
So that is going to be 2nd and goal coming up from the 1 now. As the Phoenix looking for their first touchdown of the season. They'll line up with September Dale on the left side of the formation, trips to the right. Peterson still is the back. They'll give it to her. Big hole up the middle, but it closes in a hurry.
That closed fast.
She's brought down for a loss of 1 on the play. Tackle made by Michaela DeLuca on the stop.
You know, with Grace's size, I wonder how she'd be going up the middle.
It is now 3rd and goal. Coming up from the 2. Mentioned before, the Phoenix likely to go for it on 4th down. They have not carried a field goal kicker in each of the last 3 seasons. Coach Dar calling in the play call from the sideline. This time, good cutback by Peterson, and she's into the end zone. Phoenix score their first touchdown of the season. Makes it 6-0. They'll now keep the offense out there for the 2-point attempt.
Yeah, no kick. I was prepping for the kick.
No, they actually will attempt a kick. This is the first
Oh.
time I think we've seen them attempt a PAT.
Yeah.
As Grace Francis out for the extra point attempt. Peterson is the holder.
Well,
Snap
just run
is
it.
high.
Run it. Well,
And Francis is going to be brought down, so the extra point attempt is no good. 5:53 left in the first quarter. The Phoenix get on the board.
well, take the 6 points. That's good.
As the Phoenix will then look to kick this one off. And I wonder if that was originally supposed to be a fake on there, as the snap was very high. We don't see them go much to a long snapper situation most of the
Right.
time.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that a little bit too. And
Phoenix.
they're working on September's knee or left knee.
Megan?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Megan Bush. So I think she kind of twisted her knee a little bit, but she's been standing on it. She walked off. So we'll see how she does, if she can come back. Cause
Blew up the offense with those first three
I was
plays.
going to say, key defensive player right there.
Looks like they are putting a potential brace on it on the sideline.
Yeah.
As Francis comes to kick this one away. Phoenix get the touchdown as this one kept on the ground. Does not roll out of bounds. Eventually picked up here from inside the 30 by Benjamin, and nowhere to go, but able to tiptoe the sideline. And she will go out of bounds just inside the 35.
She ended up with more than I thought she was going to end up with. So it was a good move by her.
Yeah, ends up about a return of 11 net yards. Looked like she was going to go down inside the 20 with a gang of Phoenix closing in on her.
Yep.
So Bush will not be good to go here at the beginning of this possession at the very least. Hoping she is able to make a return in this game.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's tough that if she can go, she'll get out there. But got to have her healthy and not hurt herself more.
And I don't think the Phoenix had realized they didn't have someone out there as they run player on at the last second to get 11 players out there. Matt's going to drop back, rolling out to the right side. Going to
Got a
look
lot
to
of
take
room
off
there.
this one, but is dragged down from behind. Looked like Rachel Schwabe on the stop there for the Phoenix.
There's another veteran.
Excuse me, it was 58, Natasha Young, a newcomer, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, she learned from the veteran.
Have a loss of 4. Brings up 2nd and 14 now.
Last minute run in. I didn't get the number.
They'll set up with a couple receivers on the right side. As they send Potker in movement.
They're looking, want to throw that way.
Deliver this one deep, and it is picked off. Crystal Peterson on the interception inside the 30 to the 20. Matt's the last player to beat, able to slow her up, and she is going to be dragged down inside the 5. The Iowa Phoenix with the big turnover forced.
She had that one dialed in from when it got thrown. In fact, she was behind the receiver waiting for it to come down, and she jumped in front of her.
It'll be 1st and goal from the 4. Crystal Peterson, have yourself a day here early on in the first quarter.
There's our veteran. She's one of our strong players.
About a 40-yard return. You go along with a couple big plays in the run game, including the 2-yard touchdown that put the Phoenix up on their last drive. Now trying to make it a 2-score game late in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's interesting on the sideline there. Fisk and Francis were chatting with coach.
They'll split Mikulek and Christensen out wide left.
I had a feeling Fisk might run it.
As gain of maybe 1 on the play.
I don't know why they threw a beanbag in there. That's weird.
That did not look like a fumble.
No.
For a second, I thought he was signaling that way, but no, it was just
I
second
know.
down.
I know. It's like, wait a minute. What did we miss?
Officially no gain on the play. It'll remain second and goal.
That was strange. He did pick up beanbag, though.
Mentioned before, Kira Fifth celebrating her 18th birthday here today as they were looking to try and get her a touchdown on the first down run. This time it will be Turner and Fist in the back. Peterson on the sideline after that interception return.
Oh, what? Oh, maybe delay. Yep.
And that will be a penalty called against the Phoenix. So that will back them up 5 yards.
Those are valuable yards down there.
Phoenix will go with the two-back formation again. Turner to the left, Fist to the right. Peterson and Mikulek out wide left with Dale on the right side of the formation. This one will be kept by Francis. Not a great push up front. They will stop the clock with 3:21 left here in the first quarter.
Francis' helmet was off. So are they going to make her be out for a play?
Yep, it looks like it.
Looks like it. So I think Crystal went in, possibly be the quarterback.
Yeah, I would assume it's going to be a keeper, probably to the right side. Open that up a little bit as Schott and Fisk are coming on.
Yeah. I think.
Down under 3 minutes left here in the first quarter.
Oh, no.
And it's going to be another penalty called here.
Illegal substitution.
So now the Phoenix. See if Francis is able to come back out now this time. And a timeout going to be called by the Phoenix.
Yeah, regroup, get things right.
So a timeout on the field. We'll take a break as well and be right back. You're watching Iowa Phoenix football on Pardon My French Media. Coach Derrick calls the timeout for the Phoenix as they will look to line up their offense. Francis back out. They'll move a Mikulek to the near side with Christensen in the slot. Fisk alone on the far side of the formation. Francis dropped back over the top. Shannon Christensen in and out of the hands. An incomplete pass. And Francis took a shot on that play as well. And that will bring up fourth down now for Iowa.
I thought Shannon had that one.
A great pass across the middle, just came up short.
Yeah, great touch on it, too. Just over the defensive hands.
So now that'll make it fourth down.
Yep.
Expect to see a passing down here. Turner replaces Fisk on the field as they bring two backs into the formation. Looking to go right over the top for Mikulek. In and out of the hands, back-to-back drop passes for Iowa, and that is going to be a turnover on downs. End up going backwards 9 yards.
That was a shame because both those passes were good, solid.
Mountain Lions going to call a timeout as well. We will step away and be right back. Extended I formation here on the new possession. As it's a rush right up the middle. Gain of about 4 or 5, it looks like, on the play.
Yeah, a little power rush there, and that way you can't get the defense into the backfield and disrupt it. Just go right at them, hard and heavy.
Looks like they'll line it up the same play with Matz under center.
Same thing. Yep.
Get another nice little push, pick up another 2, maybe 3 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, she's literally just standing up with the ball and then running forward. That's something.
Need to get to the 24-yard line to convert, trying to avoid punting out of their own territory deep inside once again. Phoenix looking to get some more pressure up front as they'll line it up in like a quarterback keeper situation again. This time they will hand it off, but Shannon Christensen along with Grace Francis meet the ball carrier right at the line of scrimmage. She's going to be at least a yard shy, and that's going to bring up 4th down with 1.5 minutes left here in the first quarter.
It's a good solid run, but Shannon closed the hole.
4th and 1. They are going to go for it.
You bet. They're probably going to do that power rush.
As Matz got nowhere, and that's going to be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, she did not make the line to gain.
Phoenix defense holds. An interesting decision there.
And looked good because she stood up like she was going to go with that power rush, but then she stepped to her right where it looked like there was more opening, and that got shut down.
A quick 4 and out gives Iowa the ball. See if they can make better chance off of this possession than we saw them start their last one. Phoenix leading 6-0 here late in the first quarter. Crystal Peterson had the 2-yard touchdown run. Back with under 6 minutes left on the clock.
Shot might be the quarterback again.
I don't see Grace on the sideline.
Oh, I don't either, but.
Nope, they've got Fisk in at QB.
Yeah.
So Fisk keeps it on the right side, looking to bounce it up the middle. Cuts back inside, and that's going to be a good gain of about 7. Give her 8 on the carry. Inside 1 minute left here in the first quarter.
I don't see Grace anywhere. I mean, that one play, she was slow to get up.
Fisk brings the play call in again from the sideline.
Yep.
Yeah, Grace Francis not on the field currently for this play. Christensen lines up in the slot. Fisk makes a good read, but that play gets cut down in a hurry. loss of 2.
She's got to be careful when she's back there at quarterback that she kind of hopped and that can get a movement call. All right, end of 1.
At the end of the first quarter, the Iowa Phoenix leading 6-0. We'll take a break for the quarter break and come back with the start of the second right after this. So Francis stays on the sideline for this play. We were finally able to track her down. Fisk in on this possession. Keeper to the left side this time. Gets inside the 18, but goes nowhere on the play. Maybe a gain of 1, as it's going to be 4th down now. As Francis does put her helmet on, but looks like he's going to stay on the sideline again. Interesting set of plays called here as the Phoenix trying to make use of another great starting field position. And after that first run for Fisk, they've realized that she's just going to tuck in and run each play.
Right, and that can be a problem. You gotta shake it up a little bit. I mean, she's got good speed, but if they focus on her, they're going to close holes.
See if they look to hand it off to Peterson, who has not touched the ball this possession.
Oh, I can see zeros on the play clock. Why does it seem like it goes so fast?
So a penalty called here against the Phoenix. Backs them up 5 yards.
That hurts. On 4th down, that hurts.
Yep, and it's back to the original line of scrimmage now.
Now, Francis is in the backfield.
So likely passing situation here. They do keep Fisk in the backfield. Looking to go over the top for Michalak, too far as it falls incomplete, and that will be a turnover on downs.
So close. So close. Well done play.
And I think as the season goes on, that is going to result in a lot of plays over the top. I think Michalak may have hesitated a little bit at the line of scrimmage, but good touch on the ball, but a little too strong for Francis.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was hoping Francis would have a little bit more touch on the ball from what we saw last year, but
we have seen some good passes from her so far, especially
I'm not
down here in the first quarter.
No,
she had 2 passes that should have been
great
touchdowns.
Ones. Yeah. But I think that one was one of those where kind of lofted up and let the receiver find it and get it.
Looks like a illegal substitution called this time against the Mountain Lions, so that'll back them up 5 yards to start the possession.
And they've had late substitutions too, so they maybe got caught with one too many people in the huddle.
So 1st and 15 now from their own 18-yard line. Still no Megan Bush for the Phoenix. Got to wonder if her day may be done after that first possession. Matt's going to roll out to the right side. Quarterback keeper out here. That could have potentially been a holding call against the, as it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, strange. She just ran for the sideline. she didn't turn upfield.
Gained about 2 on the play, so it brings up 2nd and 13. Phoenix got the touchdown on their second drive, have been unable to punch it in, even though their last 2 drives have both started within the 20. Going in motion, this one's going to be handoff outside to Benjamin. Trying to get the corner. Kushner slowed her up for a second, and she's eventually taken out of bounds, but they're going to say she was out a couple yards before that, out at around the 27-yard line.
That saved them about 5 yards.
So it looks like about 3rd and 6, gain of 7 on the play. Phoenix trying to force a 3 and out. Go into the shotgun this time. Powell is the back with Benjamin coming out to the near side, picked up by Schott defensively. Matt's dropping back, looking to deliver this one over the side. Grace Francis in and out of the hands, falls incomplete.
She had that one dialed in too.
That'll bring up 4th down.
Well, that was good defense. That meant the receiver couldn't catch it.
And it looks like they are going to put into punt formation.
Yeah, I think that's who punted last time.
And they will send Schott back. And a timeout going to be called.
Yeah, I don't think they were ready, but I think she was watching play clock.
12:20 left on the clock here in the second quarter. We'll take a short break and be right back. Schott goes back to return this punt. Comes up inside the 40 and able to pick it up. Called for the fair catch and then is brought down. As it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Phoenix at their own 37-yard line. So here's hoping for a better drive for Iowa, as their last 2 have stalled out inside enemy territory. See if they can put together a couple good plays and get back into a good scoring position as they start solid field position once again, but on this side of the 50 for the first time since their opening drive. Francis in at QB. Fisk off the field for this play with Turner into the right and Peterson to the left. Peterson didn't touch the ball in the last formation. This time they'll give it to Turner, trying to come to the near side. She's going to be met, and that's going to be a loss of about 3 back to the 34-yard line. Clock is going to stop here with 11:58 left in the first half. Michaela DeLuca on the stop there.
They're huddled up. It must have been a timeout.
I believe so. I didn't see who it was called.
I didn't either.
Either way, we will take a short break and come back with the next play right after this. Francis in the shotgun to begin play back on the field. They're going to set up a wide receiver screen for Christensen. Good block on the outside, trying to bounce it out and gain past the original line of scrimmage up to the 40, where the clock will stop. Gain of about 5 on the play. They'll give her officially 6. Need to get to the 47-yard line to convert. As they will look to line up here. Potential pass situation here is likely would punt it away at this position in the field, still holding just the 1-score lead. Francis dropping back, had the extra blocker. Over to the side, caught by Christensen.
But she's a couple yards short of the first down.
Gain of about 5. It's 4th and 2 now for Iowa. The offense will stay out there. Trusting their defense if they can't get it, as they have done a great job against this offensive attack for the Mountain Lions. As it has now been over 7 plays since Crystal Peterson has touched the ball. Wonder if they look to keep it on the ground here for her. No one on the right side of the formation. Francis in the shotgun. They're going to go back to the air, looking to take the top off for Christensen, and too far downfield. The clock will stop. 10:27 and a turnover on downs.
That's too bad. Killed momentum. But
the Phoenix have gotten away from what they've done well the last couple of seasons. That has been the ground and pound with Crystal Peterson.
Yeah.
Averaged over 100 yards per game last year. Had a couple 200-yard games over the last 2 seasons. Had a couple big plays on the first drive. Had that touchdown run, but has not touched it since.
Well, they may be trying some new offense, see what new they can introduce. They can go back to Christensen.
As Matz looks to deliver this one over the side, falls incomplete. As that will stop with 10:22 left on the clock.
Had some really good defense around that receiver, too. So they're reading the pass plays very well.
Yeah, I believe Matz only has 1 completed pass so far. As the Mountain Lions passed the ball very effectively last year. Roughly 50-plus yards per game, completed 6 passes for touchdowns in 7 contests. They'll keep this one on the ground, hand up the middle, and it's going to be a quick carry.
No gain.
As September Dale on the stop for the Phoenix. Looks like a gain of about 2 officially. Nope, they do not give a gain, excuse me. Apologize for any discrepancies in the clock and down in distance. Trying to do my best with some of our new technology we're instituting this year to improve the broadcast. Still just the 2 of us doing this, so trying to do everything has been a little bit challenging, so we appreciate the patience. Cats goes to an empty backfield. Matz, excuse me. 3rd and long. Rolling out to the side. Deliver this one over the top. Falls incomplete.
She had the right idea. It was a good play, but she didn't hit her receiver. And that's one of those where she had a minute where she should have stopped, planted, thrown. That throw on the run is tough for any quarterback to do.
Shot will go back deep to return, as it looks like Matz will go back to punt it away. So Phoenix Forest, another 3 and out after the turnover on downs. Shot had no return on the last punt attempt. And it's going to be a line drive punt. Shot will come up and grab it around the 21, where she will go down. So it'll be 1st and 10 at around the 21-yard line for Iowa. Went 4 and out last time with the ball, and now with that field starting to get a little bit further downfield, they got to look at starting to move the ball again.
Yeah, they do. Maybe go back to what got you the success in the past. Settle into some of their success. Yeah, we should be calling out Christensen and Peterson quite often. And we're not doing that right now.
And a timeout going to be called here by the Phoenix. And I believe that is their last one of the first half.
It's all right. Use them. Make sure you got things right. When I looked over at the clock, it was 15 seconds. They hadn't even broke the huddle, so they were going to get hurt. Don't lose the yards.
We'll take a short break for the timeout and come back right after this. .23 left here in the first half. Phoenix coming out, no timeouts left for them after that last one called. 6-0 lead for them. And it's going to be another penalty. It's going to be, this time, a false start called against Iowa. So even after using the timeout to avoid the delay of game, they're still going to lose the 5 yards. Early in the season, you're going to have a lot of mistakes like that.
Yeah.
But in a close game like this, you got to find a way to push through the adversity. So now 1st and 15 from around the 15-yard line. As they immediately go to the air, finding Schott. It'll be a short gain. And they stop the clock momentarily as the flag does come out.
That's why.
Offsides called against Mountain Lions.
Take the penalty. Keep the down.
So I'll move it back to the original line of scrimmage with 9:14 left in the second quarter. I'm really interested why we have not seen Crystal Peterson get a carry. This is the 3rd straight drive now since her last time touching the football.
Well, and, you know, it's a bit of a change. She's in the backfield as your back, and right now Fisk is out. You'd expect that she's going to get that ball and run with it, but we'll see.
Move this over to the right side. Christensen off the quick pitch and catch. Up the right sideline, steps forward. She's got the first.
And there it's Christensen making plays.
And that will move the chains. Big play there for Iowa. First time they've had a positive play like that in a while. As JT talking with the trainer to see if Fisk is good to go or not.
Yeah.
Already without Megan Bush, trying to avoid losing their new young talent as well.
Yeah, it'd be a drag. Get a concussion on your birthday.
As they finally give it to Peterson. She gets a carry out to the right side, gain of 3 before she is drilled out of bounds.
The great thing with Peterson, she's got good speed too, that she can get the corner and get you a few yards. Fisk was looking like she had the speed to do it too.
I believe she is now out with concussion protocol, as that's 2 of the big playmakers, one on the offensive and one on the defensive side for Iowa.
She's on the bench.
Expect to see a lot of Shannon Christensen and Crystal Peterson for the Phoenix. As Francis drops back, delivers this one, a quick pitch and catch. Christensen makes a nice move, breaks it outside, and is going to go out right near the 50-yard line. Clock stops, and he gets another first down.
Fantastic run, too. So here's the veteran player that can put the moves back and forth on a defensive player and then go for the yards.
So 1st and 10 now for the 50 for the Phoenix as they look to drive down and try and put another score up before halftime. Francis in the backfield, Peterson to her right, blitz from the left side. Drop this one right over the top for September Dale. Cuts it back into the middle. She's going to be right near down that first down marker, and I believe she has picked up another one.
They're calling for...
As Powell's slow to get up for the Mountain Lions.
And they're quick calling for the sideline, so that's too bad.
We'll take a short break while she gets looked at and come back right after this. Back after the injury timeout, 1st and 10 for Iowa. coming from the Mountain Lion 40-yard line. Francis dropping back, looking across the middle, feels the pressure, steps out, delivers this one downfield, wide open. Shannon Christensen's got it. She'll be pushed out of bounds at the 1-yard line. A huge play for the Iowa Phoenix.
Great throw. I was thinking she should take off, but reload.
And that is where I think that we have seen her develop as a passer. Last year would have tried to force that right off the bat. Instead, able to feel the pressure, reset herself, delivers a beautiful ball. A little wobbly, but right into the breadbasket for Shannon Christensen, who gets it down to the 1-yard line as Iowa looking to try and extend their lead in the closing minutes before halftime. Francis in the shotgun, Peterson to her right. It's been all Christensen in the passing game. Fisk officially out for the game with a concussion. Megan Bush, questionable return for her. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper up the middle, and that's a touchdown for the Phoenix.
Got that nice power run right there. And that's great. With Francis' size, you know, she's strong to be able to push up the middle. That's a good move.
Francis listed at 5'11". Mentioned before, a former infielder for the Graceland Yellow Jackets.
But she's got size to her, too, though.
As Iowa extends their lead to 2 possessions now, and they will keep the offense out there going for 2. Peterson will line up at running back to the right of Francis. This time they'll give it to her, cuts it up the middle, good push, and that's 2 more for Iowa.
Nice.
5:22 left here in the first half. Iowa has their second touchdown of the game. Take a short break in between possession changes and be right back. Score 14-0 with 5:22 left in the first half. Shannon Christensen got them down to the 1-yard line after a beautiful play from quarterback Grace Francis, showing that growth as a quarterback. I don't know if we've really had a bad pass from her really in this game, maybe one.
Yeah, no, she is looking strong. She's done a lot better than she did last year, which is great. That's what we're hoping for. You know, it's get the experience. Learn how to put the touch on the ball.
Looked a lot more comfortable in the second half of last season and has picked up right where she left off, has led 2 touchdown drives now as Matt takes a knee.
I guess that was a safe way to play it rather than getting hit.
So 1st and 10 inside their own 40 at the 38. Decent starting field position as they look to try and put a score up before halftime. 1 timeout left for the Midwest Mountain Lions before the halftime break. They will get the ball to begin the second half. So a touchdown on this drive could be big, trying to mount a comeback, trailing by 2 scores. Two touchdowns in this game, one for Crystal Peterson on a 2-yard run, and Grace Francis punching that one in from 1 yard out, followed by the Peterson 2-point conversion, giving the Phoenix a 14-0 lead. Matt's rolling this one out to the left side. Dale and Kushner there for the stop. She goes out of bounds with 5:12 on the clock. Gets to the 42-yard line, gain of about 4 on that last play.
Phoenix switch out a little personnel up front.
Offset I this time. Turn around, hand it off right up the middle. This time for Harris. Tries to bounce it outside. Gain of about 1 on the play. And that'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, she was heading for up the middle, and there was nothing there, so she bounced it out. Even then, Phoenix closed it down. Good, strong defense.
Phoenix looking like a different team than we saw last year, a team that struggled to move the ball as they only scored 6 points in their first 2 games of the season last year. And that touchdown came late against the Mountain Lions and didn't have an opportunity, really mishandled the clock in that first game with their timeouts and ended up losing by a single score. Now under 4 minutes left in this game, or excuse me, this first half. They currently lead 14-0. Matt sends Benjamin in motion.
Stoppage. I think we got delay again.
Delay game called.
Yep.
So they'll back them up 5 yards back to the original line of scrimmage. Goes back to the 38. They'll keep this one on the ground as Harris gets another carry. Good push, and that would have been a first down if not for the penalty.
Yeah, I think that's why they stayed with the same play, didn't huddle up. Just go with what they called.
Shot will go back deep to return. Mentioned before, Kira Fisk out for the rest of the game with a concussion. As a snap over the head of the quarterback, Christensen giving chase. That will stop the clock with 2:52 left in the first half. And a disastrous play on 4th down gives the Phoenix possession inside of the 30.
That was tough.
Matt's jumped on it right at around the 25-yard line. So the Phoenix offense will come back out. No timeouts left for them, but that offense has been clicking as of late. Had a couple big plays after the timeout to start last drive.
Yeah, I think they're just going to have to be prepared to run the next play, you know.
And there's still plenty of time up there with
There
2:52, just under 3 minutes left here in the first half.
Just kind of depends on what kind of plays they run, you know. If you
Alicia Scott, a late substitution.
hopefully not an extra. All right.
They'll go into their standard shotgun formation. Francis looking over the left side, going, and looked like miscommunication there as Mikulek and Christensen ran into each other on that play. Falls incomplete, takes 5 seconds off the clock. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 after that one falls incomplete. But Francis showing her arm there, close to about 35 yards of air distance in that one, if not further.
Yeah, there's been no question about her arm strength. That's another one of those, you know, you kind of lobbing it out there and let your receiver go get it.
This one kept short. Peterson, a nice catch, but it's going to be a big loss on the play. Lost about 4 yards, it looks like. No, they do give her forward progress. It looked like it was going to be a loss on the play, but gain of about 1 overall. So that'll bring up 3rd and about 8, it looks like. 4 down territory here for the Phoenix. Approaching 2 minutes left here in the first half. If they go to the passing game, I would expect to look for Christensen. No one in front of her. If she can take a direct line, she could be wide open on this play.
Oh, no.
And the game is stopped. Timeout called on the field. So both teams with no timeouts left here in the first half.
Did you say Christensen had no one in front of her?
Yep, was wide open.
Probably why we got timeout.
We'll take a break and be back with the end of the first half coming up. You're watching Iowa Phoenix football on Pardon My French Media, the Phoenix Broadcast Network. Two minutes left here in the first half. Francis dropping back under pressure. That one delivered into the ground. Had two hands in her face. Only took a couple seconds off of the clock. That will bring up fourth down, though. As Francis getting the play call in, could be the final offensive play for the Phoenix of the first half if they are unable to move the ball. Down to 15 seconds on the play clock. No timeouts left for the Phoenix.
They need to move.
It does look like they actually have one. I think the last one was given as a... And they get it off at the last second. Francis delivers this one downfield, looking for Mikulek, lost it over the shoulder. And Francis comes up a little lame on the play. So it goes as a turnover on downs. As Francis is going to get stretched out here on the sideline. Score 14-0 in favor of the Phoenix. They look for one more stop before the halftime break. As the Phoenix bringing in a late substitution. Mountain Lions unable to take advantage, and looks like a penalty flag possibly going to be thrown here. Illegal substitution called
on the Mountain Lions, though.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That will push them back 5 yards. First and 15 now inside the 20.
Yeah, the kicker of that. Wow, I think clock was stopped anyway.
As Mats had wide open field in front, kind of hesitated a little bit, and that allowed Christensen and for Dale to come over for the stop. As we get under a minute and a half left before the halftime break. 2 touchdowns on the board for the Phoenix. Already more points than they scored in 4 games last season. As Matt's going to deliver this one outside, falls incomplete. That stops the clock with 1:12 left in the first half. That'll bring up 3rd and 11. Phoenix looking for another stop, see if they can maybe get one last crack at a score before halftime. As a flag did fly. And it is going to go against, looks like another illegal substitution, this time against the Phoenix, though, and they'll redo.
That's interesting.
So they will redo the second down play with 1:12 on the clock. Benjamin going in motion. Matz looking to take the top off the defense. Kushner gets in there and knocks the ball away. Some contact at the end of the play, but Kushner and the receiver both going for the ball, so no flag thrown.
Yeah, it looked like Kushner was going after the ball, so that should have been clean.
Ava Matz has been under pressure a lot here today.
Yeah, really good defensive play by the Phoenix. You said earlier, both sides of the ball, they're looking like a stronger team than they were last year, which is great.
Matz rolling this one out to the right side. Turner coming over, getting the stop defensively. She pushes her out of bounds.
And kept the clock running. I think she was going to try to get the sideline, but she got tackled before she got there.
Mm-hmm. Puts us down under 40 seconds. Loss of 1 on the play. So 4th and 7. As Mountain Lions will have to run one more.
Mm-hmm. And they got to get positive yardage. Oh, what? Movement by the Mountain Lions.
So that will back them up 5 yards and potentially give the Phoenix 5 extra yards to work with. Mentioned before, we know that Grace Francis has a cannon of an arm here in the WFA.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with run few receivers into the end zone, have her hit them on the fly. But they have to have this stop.
And a snap over the top.
Now, this could be 2 points.
That's going to be a safety.
Help.
And honestly, if you are the Mountain Lions, that's the best of a bad situation right there. You don't want to give that ball to them right there at the 1 yard line. Take the safety.
Yep. For what happened there, yeah, safety is the best way out.
Either way, Iowa will take the extra points. So 16-0 now, 16 seconds on the clock. I think it's one of the first safeties we've ever seen.
Yeah, I think so.
So the defense continuing to make plays happen.
Now it's a free kick, but it doesn't come up to the normal kicking area. It looks like they're standing on the 20.
So depending on where this kick ends up, Iowa could have a chance. They do have 1 timeout left according to the board.
Okay. Well, 16 seconds kind of tough, but...
And I was misreading that it's actually the Mountain Lions with 1 timeout still.
That makes sense.
So the free kick will come from the 20. And 6 hoping for a really good kick here. Because if it's kept short...
Look at where the Phoenix are lined up.
I think anything inside the 40 gives you a realistic shot. Or if you can at least get like a quick play, get out of bounds, gets at least a reasonable shot to launch it to the end zone.
Either way, there's going to be at least one play.
Turner gets this one around the 35.
Got some nice distance on it.
She'll get up to midfield. Clock will stop with 10 seconds remaining.
They actually made it 9 seconds.
So they do take one further away. So 1st and 10 for Iowa. We'll see how they decide to play this one. Like I said, I think a quick out route here maybe to Christensen, get out of bounds, hopefully with a couple seconds left, and then just try to get one in the air.
You know, I would say try to hit Christensen downfield and see if she could run it in. Because with 9 seconds,
Normally, if you can get a quick out route, get out of bounds, that's going to be 5-6 seconds. I think.
But this isn't college ball. I think it might take a little longer. We'll see. So there's setting up for the throw, but that's going to be one play. And she crossed the line of scrimmage, she's done.
As Francis taken off with it.
Well, she's done for passing, but
does pick up
right.
about 20 yards on the ground.
Hey, that's all right.
Goes out at the 31, but the clock does hit 00. The Phoenix with a successful first half. They'll take how this first half ended, though, as it goes to halftime. Phoenix with 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half sends us into the halftime break. Touchdown runs by Grace Francis and Crystal Peterson give the Phoenix a 16-0 lead here going into the break. We'll break for halftime as well. Come back at the start of the third quarter. You're watching Iowa Phoenix football on Pardon My French Media, your home for the Phoenix all season long. Phoenix leading 16-0 here at halftime. They got a big first half offensively from Grace Francis. Struggled with the first couple of possessions, just trying to move the ball, but some big plays through the air to set up her rushing touchdown. Crystal Peterson in the first quarter had a couple nice plays on the ground, including a 2-yard touchdown run and a safety forced with 22 seconds left on the over-the-head snap on the punt.
Yeah, they're having trouble with that. But like we talked about before we went to break, is Mountain Lions got lucky on that it actually went into the end zone rather than it was a fourth down play. They could have turned the ball over on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, it could have easily been a touchdown.
Yeah.
For Iowa from the 1-yard line versus.
It gave them the opportunity to kick the ball downfield. So that worked out well for the situation. Yeah, we've seen strong defensive play from the Phoenix, and the offense is coming together, clicking pretty well, and we're going to get rolling here.
Megan Bush came out with an injury during the first defensive possession after 3 straight tackles for loss to open up the game for her, as this one was be returned by Benjamin, trying to get over to the far sideline. Slowed up by Mikulek and the rest of the defense there to finally end the run. And it looked like it was Peterson on the stop.
Boy, Mikulek got down there quick.
It looks like it'll be 1st and 10 from the 36. As where this drive will start officially for the Mountain Lions. Maybe had a handful of first downs in the first half. This defense has been phenomenal for the Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, and they start out the game with tackles for loss, and, Mountain Lions haven't gotten a lot more out of that. They, Phoenix has been closing the holes. Mountain Lions put up a few yards, but I've got to say they're under 100.
More than likely.
Total offense.
As Matt leads the offense back out as they look to try and get themselves on the board here. Drop back, look over to the right side. This one is in and out of the hands, falls incomplete. And that will make it 2nd and 10. Turner there on the stop for the Phoenix. She's looked a lot stronger defensively in her first offseason with the Phoenix. She was part of last year's squad.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of players that we're not used to calling names stepping up and making plays. And the throws downfield, there's been a defender on them.
As Matz lines up another one. This time it'll be a handoff, goes right up the middle, gain of maybe 2 on the play.
Yeah, look at them close those holes.
Rare Scariot on the rush.
Oh, no. Mountain Lions have a player to hurt.
They did lose Jessica Powell early in the game. Don't believe we've seen her return. And Scariot coming in as the number 2 back. Clock stops as an injury timeout on the field. We'll step away real quick and be right back. 3rd and 8 out of the injury timeout. It looks like it was Caitlin Wolfer being helped off. As Matt's in the shotgun, 2 receivers on the left side of the formation, 1 out wide right. Not had a lot of success in the passing game. Scanning, looking through her reads, going to take off with it to the near side. Francis coming over, and a good open field tackle for her. And drops to her a gain of just 2. Looked like she was going to have a lot more on that carry, but the defense closed the hole in a hurry.
Yeah, it's almost like she was hesitating, hoping to still make a throw on it. I don't know. Sometimes you just got to tuck that ball and run.
And it looks like the shot will go back to return, as Mats will try and punt another one away. They've had a couple of high snaps that have gone over her head on punt attempts, the last one resulting in a safety. Able to get this one cleanly. It's a line drive kick. Shot will just fall on top of it. Stop the clock with 13:20 left in the 3rd quarter, and the Phoenix offense will come out for the first time in the 2nd half.
Yeah, good smart play to on shot to just grab the ball. You're on your knees. You're done. You know, instead of trying to pick it up and not go down, that just leads to trouble sometimes.
First game of the season for both these teams. Iowa has a very strong schedule in terms of games that are kind of that same class of opponent.
Yep.
They will be back here, or they'll be at Valley Stadium on May 10th for a matchup with the Cedar Raptors. And an inter-Iowa matchup, they'll be on the road against that same Raptors team on June 7th. In between that, they'll be on the road on May 17th against the Mountain Lions and a game on the road against the Minks.
Oh.
As a screen set up here.
Oh.
It is in and out of the hands, dropped by Christensen.
What's with the drops? That's tough. Well, start of the season. Yeah, and I think we've got a game scheduled at Indianola High School.
Yep, that'll be June 14th, the final game of the season.
Okay.
Against the Oklahoma Rage, who had a very strong season last year, as they beat this Mountain Lion team in the playoffs 26-8.
Yeah, Oklahoma's a tough team. We've covered them a few times.
OKC area producing the Force as well as the OKC Lady Force, who the Phoenix played in the playoffs back in our first year covering them in 2022, I believe. As Francis brings the team out again, and it is going to be a delay of game.
Yep.
So a penalty thrown against the Phoenix.
Well,
That'll make it 2nd and 15 now.
they got something they got to work on.
Ball goes back to the 31-yard line for the Phoenix. As this one over the top. Good touch, but a little too far downfield. As I think Mikulek was looking for the ball a little early on that one. And that will make it now 3rd down and 15.
Yeah, they haven't quite got that timing down together yet.
Mentioned before, both Kira Fisk and Megan Bush looks like out for the remainder of this game. As Bush was going to get reevaluated at halftime, but appears is going to sit the rest of this one out. The way the defense is playing, probably a better decision.
Yeah, save the leg, let it heal.
4 receiver set here as Kushner comes in on the slot on the right side. Christensen on the out route. Makes the catch around the defender and is off to the races to
and
the 30.
A blocker to protect her.
Mikulek back there with her, and that is going to be a 65-yard touchdown for the Iowa Phoenix. Christensen takes it all the way.
I thought the defender had jumped it and taken it away.
A new career high.
Wow.
Long on the pass for Grace Francis. Her first passing touchdown of the year. Goes 65 yards.
Well played.
A huge play And now the Phoenix will line up for the extra point. Bad snap, and there's going to be a false start called against the Phoenix. Back them up 5 yards.
Now, can you still kick it? Yeah, go for it.
Francis gets the kick up. It is no good. Looked like it was wide left.
Wide, yeah.
So the extra point, no good. But a huge play as the defender tried to jump the route. Christensen able to snag it and go the distance, as we've seen her do time and time again. The 3-time All-American in every season we've covered. Makes it 22-0 here in the third quarter. The ball will go back to the Mountain Lions as they look to try and get something going offensively. It has been all Phoenix in this game. Last year, Grace Francis, a long of 60 yards. This one going for 65, setting that new career long for her.
There's more early season troubles as they were short someone on the kickoff.
Look like Mikolek cramping a little bit here on the sideline. That might be where that loss is coming from. Kick is kept short and just kind of rolls around the 31. It'll be picked up by Benjamin. Crystal Peterson on the pursuit.
Wow.
It'll be around the 36 is where this drive will start for the Matz-led Mountain Lions. No score up on the board for them. Only one turnover officially. They've had a couple turnover on downs and the safety as well. Matz threw the interception on the first possession of the game for them. First and 10 for Matz and the Mountain Lion offense, trying to figure out something. Kelly Rear-Scariot is the back as a new quarterback in for this possession. It is Benjamin. Sidesteps a tackle from Katie Turner and driven out of bounds.
That was a good pickup.
Gain of about 5 on first down. Score 22-0. As Benjamin brings the play call back in, wondering if they making a permanent change for the rest of this game or what the plan is. As Matz has not had a lot of success.
No, and she's gotten banged up a little bit. I wonder if it's just at least give her a breather.
Also, that last touchdown as Scariot is pushed back. Try to hand it off to Benjamin, and they're going to rule the play dead. Loss of 1 on the play.
Yeah, she's forward momentum will stop.
The loss of 1 makes it 3rd and 6. But that last touchdown catch for Christensen pushed her over 100 yards for the game. Had 39 yards on that play that set up the touchdown run earlier in the contest. And a very efficient passing game for Francis so far, as she's cramping up now a little bit as well. As Benjamin going to drop back. Under pressure. Rolling out to the side. Does have the speed, as we've seen a couple times. As she'll get the first down. Might be the first down. Steps out of the tackle and keeps going. Kushner, the last defender. Turner can't stop her, and that is going to be a huge touchdown. Benjamin, a rush for about 60 yards. Gets the Mountain Lions finally on the board.
Yeah, tough.
As she looked like it was going to be coming up on the pass on 3rd and 6. Instead, ended up rolling out to the side, found a hole, and stepped out of about 4 different tackles. As Mary Ellen Six will line up for the PAT. Kick is up and good.
Well, it's a good run by them, and keep going. That was the key. Is she kept pushing upfield.
Makes the score now 22-7, with 10:50 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Phoenix will get the ball back. As Schott and Turner will go back deep to return. First kickoff from the Mount Lions here in the second half. They had one on the opening kickoff as well as the free kick on the safety. Over 150 yards of total offense today for Grace Francis, both on the ground, had that 20-yard carry at the end of the first half, and over 130 yards through the air as well today.
Yeah, nice night out.
Arguably her best game she's played as a member of the Phoenix. And the big thing has been no turnovers as well, through 12 interceptions in 6 games last year, just 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a huge point right there.
Kick is up. Schott will come forward, takes it around the 24-yard line. Comes to the near side, up past the 40. Gets to the 45 before eventually being dragged down. So it should be 1st and 10 with very strong starting field position. Around the 46 is where they officially mark her. Return of 20 plus. Couple of losses from last year for the Phoenix. Nikki Dara on the sideline now. Her husband, the head coach, Mario Dara. And no Emily O'Brien this year as well. The Phoenix, I believe, recently picked up either her master's or her doctorate.
I think it was her doctorate. And like they talked, she's a scientist, and she needs her hands, so she decided to step away from football to protect her career.
Keep this one short, finding September Dale. Picks up about 8, trucks a defender before going out of bounds.
There you go.
Gain of 7.
I've been waiting to see that with September.
Veteran player as a part of this team, has kind of mixed between tight end as well as along the offensive line. Played a little bit of left tackle the last couple of years as well.
Yeah, she's a good player. Kind of fill in does what she needs to do.
Two receivers here on the near side, including Christensen. Has the two huge plays in the passing game, and they're looking to do another one over the top, looking for Mikulek. Pass falls incomplete. 9:56 left here in the third quarter. That will make it 3rd and short.
Uh-oh. I think that's Francis that's down, probably cramping again.
Had just come off the sideline as they were calling for a trainer to come out.
Yep.
So I believe that means she will have to leave the field for an injury timeout.
Yeah, probably will.
And no Kira Fisk as well. So Megan Kushner warming up, has been the backup quarterback the last couple of seasons. Also plays receiver and defensive back. Was a phenomenal defensive back last year. Had a number of huge plays.
Wasn't she quarterback when we started covering him?
It was her and Christina Guerra.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed too is after the play, trying to think how to say her name, but Mikulek, there it is. Sorry. She was looking at the referee and complaining. Looked like she was looking for a hold. So that's a tough one. Kind of wonder why she didn't get downfield where Francis had thrown the ball.
We'll take a short break while Francis gets helped on the field. Kushner probably coming in at quarterback for the next play. We'll be right back. Francis helped off the field, already missing Megan Bush and Kira Fisk to injury.
And I was going to say that it looked like Francis was cramping. I don't know if it's an injury. It looked like cramping.
So Kushner in at quarterback, has seen some action under center over the last couple of seasons. Another veteran of this team. They're going to hand it off to Peterson. The defense knew that was coming, but Peterson able to lunge forward. She's going to be close to a first down.
Yeah, you can know it's coming. You got to stop it still.
Looks like she will be a yard shy, so that will bring up 4th and 1. Kushner more than capable of running the offense. As the defense trying to hold for their offense back on the field, coming off a huge run from Tiana Benjamin that scored their first points of the season. Peterson will be to the left of Kushner. Dale on the right side of the formation. Defense crowding the box. They'll run it on the halfback delay and breaks it outside to the 30, 25, 20. Crystal Peterson's gone.
There it is. Yep. We had been talking about, we hadn't been calling her name. Look what happened when we start calling her name. Wow.
Peterson with her second touchdown of the game.
And we know she's got wheels. She gets that outside, and that's tough to catch her.
45 yards to the house. Peterson in, I believe, her 4th year as a member of the Phoenix. And the offense will stay out there. They'll attempt the 2-point conversion.
Yeah. Well, and Francis has been kicking the ball, and she's on the sideline. So I figured they'd be looking at 2.
Kushner over the top. And a little bit behind, and that one falls incomplete. So it remains 28-7. Couple explosive plays here in the third quarter. The 65-yard catch and run for Shannon Christensen, a 60-yard run on the other side for Tiana Benjamin, and now a 45-yard tuck and run for Crystal Peterson. Most points that Iowa has scored since 2023.
Wow. But good job. This is a great way to start the season. Crowd, there's a good crowd here for them too, and they're cheering them on.
Hoping that Francis is able to get back out there, as it looks like Schott will handle the kickoff.
And I gotta say, we cover sports year-round, large variety of sports, but I really enjoy watching these ladies play.
And they're off to a great start this season, looking to try and make it back to the playoffs for the first time since 2022. A couple games on their schedule that puts them in a really good spot. They don't have the Pride, don't have the Vixen this year.
Yeah.
And looking to wrap up a week 1 victory here in this one. 8:57 remaining in the third quarter. They lead 28-7. Kick will be gotten off by Schott. Does a great job.
There you go.
As it does not go very far, but does not go out of bounds is the big key. And it'll be 1st and 10 at the 38.
That's something we saw a lot last year. It might be a short kick, but it'd go out of bounds. And you got to keep it in play. So we're seeing a lot of positives this year to start the season. And that's something we like. The bad we're seeing is players struggling or getting hurt. The cramping is a tough one. And we were talking about off camera, the weather change. It was 60 degrees, nice, and now it's chilled down a whole bunch. Muscles start tightening up.
Timeout on the field going to be called by the Mountain Lions, their first of the half. We will take one as well and be right back. Matt's back in at quarterback for the Mountain Lions. Delivers this one. It's caught. And a quick play to Harris goes for about 3 or 4 yards. Goes for a gain officially of 4.
Yeah, I wonder if she needed a break. They were trying something new. And she had been hit quite a few times. I wonder if she was hurting and just gave her a nice break.
Matz will drop back again. The near side, Benjamin was open for a second. Rolling out, good blocking in front. Now under pressure, going to take off with it. And a good tackle here on the near side by Turner. Another gain of 2. It'll bring up 3rd and 4th now.
Must have had good coverage downfield because she would not let that ball go.
Haven't had the stats in front of us, but after that last run by Crystal Peterson, got to be nearing the century mark here today. She had a couple ones close for 10 or 20 yards.
Yeah, I'd estimate her pretty close.
As Matt's looking to try and pick up another first down. Benjamin in motion. As penalty flag throws, it's caught by Benjamin. This is definitely coming back for holding, though.
Someone on the sideline's not happy. I don't know where they went.
It looked like the D-line coach, Patrick Kaiser, was calling for it as someone we haven't talked much about today. Another one of the newcomers, Abby Hansen, was being held on the left side of the line.
And they're moving it back.
Cost them a really good play, but Hansen would have been in on Matt if not for that penalty.
Well, I wonder what happened downfield for the receiver to get so open. That's why I thought they had caught someone.
3rd and 13 after the penalty negates a nice play in the passing game. Matt lines up in the backfield. Rare Scarrett to her right. Benjamin going in motion again. That's been the target here. And another holding call going to come from the exact same spot as this one is knocked down.
Well, you know, I'd even call it a pick.
As another flag, going to be another holding call. And I believe it was the exact same spot, number 77, Antonisha Ward, as Hansen got thrown to the ground. And the penalty is declined, so it goes as an incomplete pass and brings up 4th and long with 6:39 left in the third quarter. Shot will go back deep to return.
Sure, they're going to watch for a fake, but no.
Matt gets a nice punt away. Shot. Going to fall on it again. And the Phoenix will get the ball at the 41-yard line. That's where their offense will come back out. Kushner will stay in at quarterback for now. Francis still dealing with some after effects of that cramp. (28-7) our score.
And if you've ever had your calf cramp on you, you know that you can massage it out, but that thing still hurts, and you're out there trying to run around. It's tough. And so let her have a breather, keep stretching it. And at this point, you're getting Kushner some good play time.
Short carry for about 2 yards from Crystal Peterson.
And then she got planted.
Benjamin, who had the long touchdown run for the Mountain Lions earlier, gets the tackle on that play. As Turner will come in replacing Peterson. Peterson and Christensen, two of the mainstays for this team at the skill position, have both had huge games in this one. Peterson over 100 total all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. Christensen with 2 huge catches in the passing game, including the 65-yard touchdown. Got him on the hard count. Kushner gets the pass off. Looking for a flag, as it looked like there was offsides.
I thought there was.
Yep, there is a flag here on the near side. We'll see if it does go against Iowa, or because someone did jump on the Iowa offensive line as well.
But they didn't blow it dead. But I thought a Mountain Lion crossed over. But they're talking about it.
5:41 left here in the third quarter.
Offside defense.
And it does go as an offsides penalty. So it remains second down. Second and third, 5:41 left in the third quarter. The Phoenix leading 28-7 here at home. Playing at Bill Buxton Stadium, home of the Simpson Storm. As a low snap, Kushner going to take off with it, and she's going to be dropped for a loss. Goes back to the 45. It'll be a loss of 3 on the play.
But she picked a couple back up, so she tried to get out of trouble.
It'll be 3rd and 6 after the tackle for loss in the backfield.
You know, when you think about it, they're kind of playing on the second layer offense where you've got your quarterback out, you've got your starting running back out. You know, they're on their backups, and that could cause a little bit of confusion, but they're holding together.
As Kushner takes a snap, delivers this one over the side, and was out of reach of Shannon Christensen. Clock stops with 4:46 in the third. And we'll see what the decision is here. It looks like the offense may stay out there. They do have a 3-touchdown lead, and with Francis sideline currently.
Yeah, do you have a kicker?
I do want to give a shout out. We got a comment from Emily O'Brien. She recently did finish her PhD and started a job and now is out in Denver. As this one handed off to Turner. Big hole on the side, and she's going to have enough for the first down before she is walloped on the near side by Petker.
And OB, want to throw a shout out to you. We miss you.
Have a fun story that was recently watching a video from an internet group called the Try Guys. Was City Drop-In, I believe, is the series they do. They do scavenger hunts around big cities in the U.S. And in the Philadelphia episode, a fan stopped to ask to take a picture with them. My wife and I are watching it. I asked her to go back. I'm like, I swear I know this person. Go and message, yep, Emily O'Brien met the Try Guys and is featured now on that video on their Second Try site.
All right, OB. That's awesome.
Short pass here completed to September Dale. Going to be inside the 40, and it's going to take about 4 or 5 defenders to finally bring her down. Goes for a gain of 7 up to the 39-yard line.
That was a kind of throwback to, what was her name?
Essence?
Went to Omaha. Essence Bell, yeah.
So Kushner
give it to a tank and let him run. We've had a lot of fun over the years.
I want to thank everyone joining us for today's game from both the Phoenix and the Mountain Lion fan bases.
Yeah, we're happy to be here and bring the broadcast to you.
28-7, our score, 2nd and 3. Hand this one off to Peterson. She's going to be met in the backfield. That'll be a loss of 1 back to the 40. Phoenix were able to move the chains on their last 4th down play. Now they face a 3rd and manageable. Phoenix currently without Francis, Fisk, or Bush in the game. Schwabe currently on the sideline as well for them. So down 4 starters between the offense and defense. Kushner in the shotgun. Good block set up. They get it
Oh,
over
there
to
you go.
September Dale. She's going to have the first down and more.
Got good hands.
Takes another big hit, but able to move the chains.
I bet she's enjoying the. She'll take the hit, make the play.
Under 2 minutes left here in the third quarter as the Phoenix continue to punch this one downfield. September Dale with a couple of first downs on this drive.
Yeah, I like that we're getting to call her name too. You know, it's kind of spreading out that offense.
1st and 10 now from the 34. Kushner will turn, hand this one off to Peterson. Trying to get to the corner. Hole set up for her. She's down inside the 30. Gain of about 5 on the play.
I thought she was going to sneak between those defenders.
2nd and 5 now as she is down at the 29-yard line. They've been riding the veterans here tonight. Kushner coming in place of Francis after the injury. September Dale been making the plays here in the third quarter. 2 touchdowns today for Crystal Peterson. And, of course, Shannon Christensen, over 100 yards receiving for the game as well. But they've looked to their veteran tight end here on this drive. Kushner delivers this one out, caught by Christensen. She's going to have the first down, goes out of bounds right at the 23-yard line. Clock stops with 22 seconds left here in the third. Third first down of the drive for the Phoenix.
Oh, clock started up again. We're going to call it. Third quarter done.
As that will do it here in the third. The Phoenix in complete control of this one. They lead by 21 heading into the fourth quarter. We'll take a break and come back with the start of the fourth. Right after this, you're watching Iowa Phoenix football on Pardon My French Media. Kushner has the offense clicking along as they have 1st and 10 inside the 25. As we begin play here in the fourth quarter, Peterson on the right side. Short gain on first down. They'll keep the clock running. Halfback sweep goes for about 2. As we're under the final 15 minutes here in this contest. Phoenix have been getting it done on both sides of the ball in the passing game and in the rushing attack too. It has been about as complete a game as they could have hoped for coming in their first game in the DeMario Dara era.
Yeah, Really, really good start to the season.
Ricky Giacconi, the head coach last year, stepping down over the offseason. Dara named the head coach, and he's had his team doing everything that he could want. Pass falls incomplete.
Francis or
Kushner still in the game at quarterback for Iowa. Third and 8. Just over 14 minutes remaining in the contest. Two receivers out left in Turner and Christensen. Peterson is the back. Handed off to Peterson, working the left side. Big hole here inside the 15. Out of the stiff arm, and she is gone. The third touchdown of the game.
Oh, wait. Oh,
Diving
no.
forward. Looks like they might
They're
mark
going to
her.
mark her at the goal line. Oh. And Crystal's down right now, too.
Yeah, Peterson's slow to get up. Missed the second half of the season a couple of years ago due to a broken foot, so hoping that she is all right. The Phoenix decimated by injuries here in the first game so far. We'll take a short break and be right back. Peterson able to get off the field under her own power, but now the Phoenix down to their backup running back and backup quarterback as Mikulek and Turner in the backfield now. They'll hand it off to Turner going to the left side, and she'll be dropped for a short loss.
I still think my IDF camera. Put September Dale in the backfield and let her pound it in the front of the line.
The marker back officially to the 4-yard line, loss of 3 on the carry.
Yeah, that's too bad. It's harder to make a quick push through the line. Phoenix
down 3 of their biggest offensive playmakers, with Peterson and Francis now on the side. Fisk out for the game. Megan Bush out for the game on the defensive side as well. And she'll keep it for Kushner on the right side.
That flag is out.
Yeah, I think this might be coming back for a holding call.
I have a feeling, yes. Especially where the flag is. Trying to pick up the referee. Oh, there he is.
And it is officially a holding call. So it'll be 2nd and 14 now. 2nd and goal from the 14.
That changes the play calls big time.
See if Kushner looks to go to the air here. Try to set up something for Shannon Christensen or September Dale. Those have been the two targets in the second half.
Well, we got some new blood out there, so never know.
Turner out wide left with Christensen in the slot. Mikulek out wide right. And Kushner under pressure.
Oh,
She's going to absorb the sack, and that's going to be another loss of about 10. So what was 1st and goal from the 1 is now going to be 3rd and 22.
announcer curse. We're talking how good the offense was doing. I don't know. That's a shame, but no harm yet. You know, they're burning clock. Keep that lead.
Apologize, looks like our scoreboard is froze as they hand this one off to Turner on the right side. As just a short run as we get under 11 minutes left in the game. Fourth and forever here. Kushner will come out. Third time the Phoenix have been unable to punch it in from inside of the 10 in this game. France is doing some running here on the sideline, trying to loosen up.
It's good to see. I don't see any kind of limp, but it still hurts. I've had that a few times.
And a delay game going to be called here.
Another 5. We apologize for talking about the offense.
Looks like 4th and 28 officially now after the penalty.
Wow. Still like what we've seen, though. Team is playing well. They're just a little discombobulated right now. And
This one delivered over the side. It is caught. Shot makes a move past the defender, but is eventually dropped. Gain of about 12 inside the 13, but it is not going to be enough. That will be a turnover on downs.
but good yardage to bury Mountain Lions deep. So there's a positive out of it. That's all right.
Over 15 yards on the catch. I believe that's the first catch of the season for Schott, maybe the first of her career. Do not have the stats right in front of me anymore.
Yeah, I think that's her first catch tonight. And she's a new player, isn't she? Unless she's...
Nope, second year with the team.
Is she? Okay. Don't mind me, I'm just a camera operator.
Under 10 minutes left in the ball game.
All right, let's see what the defense can do. They're in a bunch formation. They got no one wide.
Trying to take this one out wide. Good gain on first down of 8 yards. That one taken by Tiana Benjamin, it looked like.
Yeah, and they're having a little bit of success with the running game lately. They're moving the ball a little bit.
Tiana Benjamin had that 60-yard touchdown run back in the third. They blow the play dead.
I think it's timeout, Mountain Lions.
That'll be the second timeout used by the Mountain Lions here in the second half. We'll take a break ourselves and be right back. Back on the field, out of the timeout. It's going to be another carry for Benjamin. And it looks like she's going to have enough for the first down.
Yep.
So reset the chains here as the clock continues to tick away with 8.5 minutes left. And Francis is back on the field at linebacker. So good to sign there. Peterson also back in at safety.
Good to see. Real good to see.
And the Phoenix will be off next week before being back at home against the Cedar Raptors on the 10th up at Valley Stadium. As this one handed off to Benjamin again, as they may have found their offensive weapon this season. Short gain on the play. Give her about 4 yards, it looks like. Give her 5 officially up to the 29.
Yeah, she's picking up a few yards at a time. That's not bad.
Christensen comes off the field here on the near side. First game of the season, you can definitely see some early season jitters, some cramping, something you see in a lot of sports this early on in the year. Has a good push forward. Looks like that'll be enough for the first. As Matt keeps that one herself.
And something we've talked about with the Phoenix is their level, they pay to play. They're not being paid to play. And so, how much time do they get in practices and workouts? And, they're not professional athletes. This is like a hobby in a sense. And so, yeah, early season, you get into a full game and it can be kind of rough on your body.
Did have the scrimmage earlier this year against Cedar Rapids as Another good carry on a first down. We'll go for about 7. Under 6.5 left.
And just additional thought is, if you enjoy what you're seeing, or you know people that are watching first time, they have Adopt a Player that are donations to nonprofit, Phoenix or nonprofit, that the donations go to help support the costs for these girls to play. So just keep that in mind. Go to their website, check it out.
Timeout on the field for the Phoenix. We'll take a break and come back right after this. First and 10 here for the Mountain Lions after converting on the second and short play. Mats will go back into the shotgun. Trying to trim into this lead a little bit more. Mats dropping back, delivers this one over to the side.
Ooh, good patient play.
And a good block laid out as Francis was coming in looking for the stop. Instead, it will go for a gain of 8. Officially mark it a 7-yard gain, as the Phoenix will send Dale off. Under 5 minutes left in the contest. Make sure to stay tuned after today's game for a special presentation. Mats finds Harris again, and that will be another first down. A good drive being put together here.
Yeah. And, you know, it's their first game, and they're working out the bugs. And I think they found a couple fixes right there.
A lot of new faces for them, new quarterback, a new running back. None of the top receivers returning from last year as well, but they have gotten some great play from Tiana Benjamin, the 5'7" wide receiver from Brookfield, Wisconsin.
Yeah, she's had some really good plays.
As Mats, this one is somehow hauled in.
She caught that.
Good hands. Monica Jones with her first catch of the game. Wow. That'll be another first down.
And I'll tell you what, it's got to let Mats feel really good. She wasn't making very good passes, but she had a lot of pressure early.
Do you want to give a shout out to some of the players that have been kind of in this area for the Mountain Lions? Cara Hamer, number 12, graduate of Iowa State University, as well as Mary Kate Christensen, the right tackle, coming out of Drake University here locally.
Nice.
Mats looks like it might have been a broken play, but able to direct some traffic, pushes forward and gains about 4, it looks like, up to the 19-yard line. Under 3 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, because her running back didn't even make a move for that ball. That was definitely broken play.
2nd and 6 coming up for the Mountain Lions as the Phoenix defense looking for another stop. Benjamin, the only touchdown on the game for this team. Rare Scary it on the carry, gain of 1.
Fast approaching 2 minutes.
There is an injury timeout on the field, as it looks like it is Alicia Scott slow to get up. We'll take a short break ourselves and be right back. Third and 5 here for the Mountain Lions inside of the red zone. Get the play out before the 2-minute warning. As Matt's looking to roll out with it. Met and brought down. And that will stop the clock with 1:50 remaining. Looks like a couple players, including Katie Turner, and on the stop for the Phoenix. 4th down coming up. Need to get to the Phoenix 13 to convert. We'll take a break for the 2-minute warning and come back right after this. Matt comes out under center as they hand this one off to Rare Scary on 4th down.
Ooh,
Might have been
close.
stopped short. And looks like it is going to be just shy.
I think so. And that was 4th down.
Waiting for the official signal.
Phoenix ball.
So the Phoenix will get the ball back and be able to run out this clock with a minute 40 left here in the ball game.
Busy press box.
1st and 10 coming up from the 14-yard line. The Phoenix going to pick up the first win in the Coach Dara era.
Great game. Shout out to all the players. Played your hearts out.
And like we said, make sure to stay with us after the game for a quick post-game wrap-up. Look at how the scoring went here tonight and a special post-game presentation, as it'll just be a knee here for Grace Francis.
And what do they call that?
Victory formation. Phoenix score their most amount of points since 2023 in this one in a big win here at home. They will be at home again on May 10th to take on the inter-Iowa rivals, the Cedar Raptors, before heading on the road on the 17th to take on the same Midwest Mountain Lions team.
Yeah, no game next week. Just know that they have that week off.
Next contest after that will be on the road against the Minnesota Minx. First time they've met up with the Minx since 2023 as well. And both those games, huge performances from Crystal Peterson. Had over 450 total rushing yards and 6 total touchdowns.
That's right.
In those 2 games 2 years ago.
Right. She went off.
As the Phoenix will have to run one more play. Francis taking some losses to her rushing stats here in these last couple plays to end this one.
Yeah, and that's a bummer. I'm hearing a lot of whoop-de-doos down on the sidelines. I had some happy ladies down there.
Well, I think the Phoenix did not win a home game last year either, because their 2 wins were on the road at Cedar Rapids and then on the road against the same Mountain Lions program.
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
As that will officially do it here. Final score 28-7.
Listen to this team.
Like I said, the Phoenix pick up their first home win in 2 years. They'll be at Valley Tiger Stadium on the 10th.
Yeah.
And then their final home game of the regular season back down here in Indianola at Indianola High School on June 14th, I believe. As a huge win here in this game.
Yeah, we don't have official stats, but as best we can come up with, Crystal had
over 100 yards rushing.
Yep.
Over 100 yards for the game for Shannon Christensen. Probably close to 130, 150 total yards for the contest for Grace Francis.
Yep. And, hey, shout out to the Mountain Lions. You know, they were struggling, definitely in the first half. And they started putting it together. And, you know, it's going to be an interesting contest next time they match up.
And the Phoenix did lose a couple key players early in the game. Megan Bush came up with a knee injury during the first defensive possession after 3 tackles for loss to begin the game. They lost Kira Fisk to an injury in the first half as well. Hoping to get both of them back for that game. They do get a week off to kind of rest a little bit and get back to where they need to be for that game against the Cedar Raptors. And also just, you know, rest up, heal those first game cramps, injuries fairly early in the season, as we saw a host of different players, including key ones in Grace Francis, Crystal Peterson, Rachel Schwabe, all come off the field at different points. Abby Hansen getting looked at the training staff. You want to have everyone healthy, especially for a rivalry game.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, great job on this game, but takes healing up and get feeling better. Now, what we've got is we've got a fan loose on the field. He's approved to be out there. This is our
special presentation we mentioned.
And you want to guess what's happening here? So exciting. He was just up here in the booth. So. Oh, he's mic'd, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone noticed, especially the key lady?
Yeah, final score here was 28-7 as the Iowa Phoenix pick up their first win at home since 2023. These two teams will match up again in a couple of weeks on May 17th up in Wisconsin.
And hey, last shout out too is Kira Fisk.
Her
birthday girl.
18th birthday, unfortunately missed the second half of this game due to injury.
She played well. It's got to be her first tackle football game because they don't have it in high school. And you know, we talked about it as we kind of knew her from Carlisle. Yep. I think they figured out what's going on here.
As Katie Turner in tears on the field, congratulations to her on a special presentation here.
Better say yes. Looks to her teammates. Should I say yes?
So we get a yes on the field. The Phoenix get a win.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Congratulations, you two. And we're proud to be here covering it for you. Listen to them girls. Look at the team. That's awesome. What a fun thing. Very special moment.
And with that, we want to wrap up tonight's game. Congratulations to Katie Turner, as well as to the Phoenix for picking up their first win of the season. We'll see you guys up at Tiger Stadium on May 10th when the Cedar Raptors come to Central Iowa for an inter-Iowa matchup with the in-state rival Iowa Phoenix. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.